In the early morning hours of May 6, 1682, one of England's most important royal warships sailed directly toward disaster. The vessel was known as HMS Gloucester, a powerful Royal Navy ship carrying soldiers, sailors, nobles, and one incredibly important passenger who would later become King James II of England. At the time, nobody aboard imagined the voyage would become one of the most mysterious naval tragedies in British history. And certainly nobody expected the wreck would remain hidden beneath the sea for more than 340 years. But that is exactly what happened. For centuries, the HMS Gloucester disappeared into darkness. Its location became one of the greatest lost shipwreck mysteries in British maritime history. Historians searched for it. Divers hunted for it. Experts debated where it had sunk. Some believed it would never be found. Then suddenly, after more than 3 centuries beneath the cold waters of the North Sea, the legendary wreck finally reappeared. And what researchers discovered shocked the world. The story begins in 17th century England. This was a dangerous and unstable time. Political tension filled the country. Religious conflict divided powerful families. The English monarchy itself faced uncertainty. And at the center of the growing tension stood James Stuart, the Duke of York. James was the younger brother of King Charles II. He was also next in line to the throne. That made him one of the most important men in England. But James was deeply controversial. Many people distrusted him because he openly supported Catholicism during a time when Protestant England feared Catholic influence. Political enemies watched his every move. Rumors surrounded him constantly. And yet despite the tension, James prepared for an important journey in 1682. He planned to travel from England to Scotland. To carry him safely across dangerous waters, the Royal Navy selected HMS Gloucester. The ship was impressive for its time. Built in the 1650s, the Gloucester was a large warship equipped with dozens of cannons. It had served England for decades. The vessel fought in major naval conflicts and earned a reputation as a reliable military ship. By 1682, however, the Gloucester was aging. Years at sea had weakened parts of the vessel. Still, officials trusted it with one of the kingdom's most valuable passengers. On board the ship that day were around 330 people. Sailors moved across the decks preparing the vessel for departure. Officers checked navigation routes. Servants carried supplies. Nobles traveled alongside James. Everything appeared normal. But hidden beneath the calm surface of the voyage was growing tension. According to historical accounts, disagreements began almost immediately between James and the ship's pilot. The pilot understood the dangerous sandbanks and shallow waters of the Norfolk coast. Navigating the North Sea required precision. One mistake could destroy a ship instantly. The pilot reportedly warned James about the safest route. But James disagreed. As a former Lord High Admiral, he believed he understood naval operations better than the crew. Witnesses later claimed James insisted the ship follow his preferred course. That decision would prove catastrophic. During the early hours of the morning, the Gloucester approached a dangerous area filled with hidden sandbanks. Visibility was poor. The sea appeared deceptively calm. Then suddenly, disaster struck. The ship slammed violently into a sandbank. The impact shook the entire vessel. Wood cracked. Cannons shifted. Crew members were thrown across the deck. Panic spread immediately. At first, many aboard believed the ship could be freed. But the damage was severe. Water began rushing into the hull. The Gloucester was sinking. And fast. What happened next became one of the most controversial moments in British naval history. Instead of immediately ordering evacuation, confusion and hesitation spread across the ship. James reportedly delayed abandoning the vessel. Some historians believe he feared panic would make the situation worse. Others argue he simply underestimated the danger. But every passing minute proved deadly. Crew members struggled desperately to lower lifeboats. Passengers rushed across tilting decks. Some attempted to save valuables. Others prayed. The ship continued sinking lower into the sea. Then came total chaos. As the Gloucester began collapsing into the water, hundreds of people fought for survival. Many could not swim. Heavy clothing dragged passengers beneath the surface. Freezing water swallowed sailors instantly. Witnesses later described terrifying screams echoing across the sea. The tragedy unfolded incredibly quickly. In less than an hour, the Gloucester disappeared beneath the waves. Roughly 130 to 250 people lost their lives. Exact numbers remain uncertain because records from the disaster were incomplete. But one man survived. James Stuart escaped. He was rescued from the sinking vessel and brought safely ashore. That survival would eventually change British history forever. If James had died aboard the Gloucester, the future of England could have unfolded very differently. Years later, he became King James II. His reign triggered enormous political conflict and eventually led to the Glorious Revolution of 1688. Some historians believe the entire course of British monarchy changed because James survived the wreck. But while the future king escaped, the Gloucester itself vanished. The ship disappeared beneath shifting sands in the North Sea. And slowly, over centuries, the ocean swallowed almost every trace of it. As time passed, the tragedy became legend. Survivor accounts circulated across England. Writers documented the sinking. Political enemies criticized James for delaying evacuation. Some accused him of valuing royal dignity over human life. Others defended his actions during the panic. The disaster became both a maritime tragedy and a political scandal. Yet despite the importance of the event, the ship itself remained lost. Generations of historians searched for clues. Old maps were studied. Naval records were examined. Researchers tried to reconstruct the Gloucester's final moments. But the North Sea is unforgiving. Strong currents constantly shift the seabed. Storms bury wrecks beneath sand. Visibility underwater is often terrible. Many believed the Gloucester would never be found. Then, more than 340 years later, everything changed. In 2007, two amateur divers named Julian and Lincoln Barnwell began searching for the wreck. Unlike massive government expeditions with huge budgets, the brothers relied heavily on patience, research, and determination. For years, they explored sections of the North Sea using historical evidence and sonar equipment. The search was difficult. Cold water, strong currents, dangerous conditions, and endless empty seabed. But eventually, they discovered something unusual. Hidden beneath layers of sand and sediment lay the remains of a wooden shipwreck. At first, they could not be certain what they had found. Many shipwrecks rest beneath British waters. The North Sea is essentially an underwater graveyard filled with centuries of maritime history. But as divers examined the wreck more closely, evidence began pointing towards something extraordinary. Cannons matching 17th century naval design were discovered. Artifacts dating to the late 1600s appeared across the site. Then came the breakthrough. A ship's bell was recovered. Engraved on the bell was a date. Suddenly, historians realized this might actually be the legendary HMS Gloucester. Further investigation confirmed it. After 340 years beneath the sea, one of Britain's most important lost shipwrecks had finally been found. The discovery stunned historians. The wreck rested approximately 45 kilometers off the coast of Norfolk. Although damaged by centuries underwater, large sections remained remarkably preserved beneath the sand. Artifacts scattered across the site created an incredible time capsule from 17th century England. Divers recovered shoes, clothing, navigation equipment, glass bottles, personal possessions, and perhaps most fascinating of all, sealed wine bottles still survived underwater after more than 3 centuries. Some bottles even contained visible liquid inside. Researchers carefully studied every object. Each artifact revealed details about life aboard a royal warship during the 17th century. The discovery became internationally significant. Historians compared the importance of the Gloucester to the Mary Rose, the famous Tudor warship recovered in the 20th century. Because unlike many wrecks destroyed over time, the Gloucester preserved a unique snapshot of history. It captured the exact moment of one of England's most politically important maritime disasters. But the wreck also revealed something deeply human. Behind the politics and royal drama were ordinary people. Sailors, servants, passengers, men who never returned home, families who never learned exactly what happened. The discovery of the Gloucester finally gave historians physical evidence connecting them to the tragedy. Researchers studying the wreck noticed signs of the violent sinking. Wooden beams were shattered. Sections of the hull collapsed inward. Cannons lay scattered across the seabed. The ship had clearly broken apart rapidly as it sank. Marine archaeologists worked carefully to preserve the wreck. Every dive required caution. The North Sea environment remains dangerous even today. Strong currents can reduce visibility to almost nothing. Storms frequently interrupt exploration. And because the wreck is historically protected, every recovered artifact must be documented and preserved properly. One of the most haunting aspects of the discovery was the realization that the Gloucester still held untold stories. Many sections remain buried beneath sand. Additional artifacts may still wait below the seabed. Researchers believe future exploration could uncover even more information about the disaster. The wreck also reignited debate about James Stewart's actions during the sinking. Historical accounts suggest evacuation delays contributed significantly to the loss of life. Some witnesses accused James of refusing to abandon ship until strict royal protocols were followed.